right then. All right. What's going on, everybody? It's Steve here. I'm just coming back again. Because I don't have anything else to do right now. But I don't know. Uh, I've been thinking about this because, um, is it really worth giving your 2 week notice to your employer? Like, is it honestly worth it? Because my thing about the whole 2 week notice thing is like, if you ask me, it's pointless. And the reason why I say it's pointless is because, like, when when you go in, you go to work, you're overworked, you're underpaid, and at the same time, you might not be feeling that job. You know, you're going to a job that you personally don't like, and it's like, what's the point of putting a 2 week notice if I'm not really feeling this job, right? But my thing is this, right? Because the reason why I say the 2 week notice is pointless is simply because, right, when these companies, they can fire you off rip, right? They can lay you off rip, right? They don't give you 2 weeks to prepare. So my thing about it is, with these employers, they can just randomly give you the boot off rip without even letting you prepare for, that boot kicking. So, my thing is like, it's pointless to me because it's like, if I'm not liking the job, what's the point of putting in my 2 week notice, right? If I'm not fucking with the employees, right? If I don't get along with my employees, right? Or if I'm getting overworked and I'm still getting paid peanuts, right? What's the point of me putting in 2 week notice, right? So my thing is this, right? Because I used to work at this moving company, right? And I made $15 an hour plus tips. I'm not gonna mention the name of the moving company, but we would get paid every week. But the thing about it was, for me, the reason why I made the choice to leave is because of the fact that, you know, I was just sitting in my bedroom, right? Just laying across my bed, and I'm like, yo, I'm getting paid peanuts just to move people's shit around. Something like every week I get like a paycheck that was like over $400, right? And it's like, like I'm being overworked. I'm getting paid 15 an hour to do the work, but I'm getting paid peanuts for the work. And tips, with the tips, it varies. Sometimes you get $100 tips, sometimes you might get $60 tips. It varies. It varies depending on the customer, right? But for me, it was the pay. So it was the pay, and it's like, yo, I'm like, why am I getting paid peanuts to move people's stuff around? Like why am I why am I why why am I letting this happen? Like, what I mean? Like, so I made the decision to up and leave because the pay wasn't good for me. If you ask me, if you ask me, right, nobody should get paid peanuts just for doing hard labor work. Especially when you're a professional mover and you're moving people's stuff around. Like, nobody, like, if you ask me, nobody should get paid peanuts for that, right? But really, like, honestly, like, I don't think I don't think, it's necessary to put in a 2 week notice, because it's dumb. To me, it's just dumb. Like, if you're not filling the job, if you're not filling the company that you work for, I mean, you should have every right to just up and leave. And I know it's gonna be people like, oh, you gotta do it the right way. You don't want to burn no bridges. But my thing with that is, these companies, they don't do it the right way when it comes to their workers. You know what I mean? They can randomly fire workers, they can randomly lay off workers. They can do all of that without having to do it the right way. They don't give people time to prepare. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care if people have, you know, families that they have to take care of. They don't care if people have, medical issues that they're dealing with. No, they don't care about all that stuff, right? They don't care about that stuff. But apparently, like, when it comes to us employees, like, we, we have to go the moral route, or we have to do it the right way, which is pretty dumb to me. But I was talking to my neighbor that lives around the corner, and I told him, I was like, listen, bro, like, I'm not feeling this job, bro. Like, I'm not really feeling it, so I just up and left, right? And he told me, he was like, you know, you don't want to do that, because you always want to give you 2 weeks. That's the law. Which I did my research. I did a little bit of my research, and nowhere does it say that it's the law for you to give a 2 week notice. Like, so my thing is, like, if it's not the law, like, if giving a 2 week notice is not the law, like, what's the point of doing it? I mean, if it's not a law, like a mandatory law, like a government law, like, if it's not like, to me, if it's not a government law, then what's the point of doing it? Like, if you're not filling the job, my thing is, why not just leave? Like, just leave, and because my thing is, if you're going into a job where you're highly stressed out, where you're highly overworked, and you're you're underpaid too at the same time, it's like, well, what's the point of being here? I'm busting my back, I'm busting my ass, I'm working all these crazy hours, and I'm getting very little out of it financially. So, like, what's the point of, you know, being here if, you know, if you're not gonna if you're not gonna pay me well for the work, you know? Or two, like, you have, people that, you have, women, mostly women that, that do get sexually harassed at the job, right? And there, you have women that would tell their bosses, like, hey, I'm being this, this person is sexually harassing me. I don't feel comfortable. And I don't feel comfortable working around this person. And most of these bosses and these managers, they don't care. Like, they don't really care about that woman's safety. It's like, this woman, she's telling you what's going on. She's letting you know what's going on. She's telling you she's not feeling comfortable. She's telling you she's not feeling comfortable working around the person. But, like, not all managers, but, like, a lot of these managers, man, they don't give a shit about their employees. They don't give a shit about their employees' safety. They don't give a shit about their employees' well-being. They don't care. They don't care. And a lot of these bosses and these employees are very shitty and unprofessional towards their employees. It's crazy to me, because, like, and some of these bosses out here are racist as fuck. Like, you have some bosses out here that are really racist towards black people and Hispanic people and Asian people. Like it's crazy. Like, cause there have been a couple workplace places where I worked at where I've seen that. I've seen the racism. I've seen the sexual harassment go on. I've seen that stuff, and it's like, yo, like you really don't, and like some of these these bosses, they see it, but they don't do anything to stop it. And it's like, yo, what's the point of being here when where it's not a positive environment. The environment is not a positive environment. So my thing is like I said, and I know I went a little off topic, but I just had to bring that up because that's something we don't address. Like, we don't address the sexual harassment in the workplace. We don't address the racism in the workplace. Stuff like that we don't address. So yeah. So my thing is, uh, and like I said, I know I went a little off topic, and that's my bad. But um, me personally, I don't think it's worth it. Like, giving you a 2 week notice, I don't think that's really. I don't think that's it's worth it. Like, cause like, yeah, I don't think it's worth it because like I said, if you're not filling a job, then me personally, I don't think you should have to put in a 2 week notice, right? But you know, um, it's like, why what's the point of doing things? And my thing is, I'm sorry, y'all, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm I'm sorry if I'm twisting my words right now. It's just a lot of my mind right now. But my thing is this, like, what's the point of doing it the right way, and what's the point of taking the moral route when these companies that we work for, they don't do things the right way. They don't take the moral route. They don't, give people 2 weeks ahead of time. They don't care about our families. They don't care about, our medical problems. They don't care about whether if we got to make sure that our bills are paid. They don't care. Like, they can just randomly fire you. They can just randomly lay you off without any reason. Or if it's no reason, then, they have, petty reasons. It's petty reasons. It's most of the time it's not really legit reasons. Most of the times it's petty reasons, or it's just no reason at all. It's just like, oh, you're fired, or oh, I'm sorry, but you know we're gonna have to lay you off. It's like, what? And again, they don't give you time to prepare for that. But with the employees, it's like, oh, you know, just make sure if you're gonna leave, put in a 2 week notice. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. If I'm not filling a job, I'm not putting in a 2 week notice. I'm not doing all that. Because what's the point of, putting in a 2 week notice and then, working those last 2 weeks if I'm not filling the job, if I'm not filling the company that I work for. Like, what's the point of doing that? Like, what's the point of doing a 2 week, like a last 2 week stretch in a company that you really don't fuck with? You know, it's it's like, I'm sick of people telling me, because I've had a lot of older people, more specifically like older black people, tell me like, oh, if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna leave your job, make sure you put in a 2 week notice. You know, let them know that you're just you're you're about to leave and you want to put in your last 2 weeks. Like, no, like, no, I'm not doing all that. No, like, no, I'm not doing that because if because I'm not gonna do another 2 weeks where where it's where it's a stressful environment, a negative environment, a shitty environment. I'm not doing my last 2 weeks in an environment where it's negative, shitty, stressful, depressing. I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing that. But I don't know, yo. But my thing is like, yeah, it's not against the law. It's like, it's not against the law to not put in your 2 week notice. Because there have been times where I just up and left, and not one time has anything happened. Like, I didn't get arrested. I didn't, nothing happened. But it's like, yo, you. Oh, another thing too, you have people tell me you don't want to burn bridges. Like, okay, so these companies, they can burn as many bridges as they want to, but when it comes to us working people, we got to make sure we don't burn any bridges with them. Like, come on, like there's nothing fair about that, and I don't agree with that. So if you ask me, this whole 2 week notice thing, it's incredibly stupid, and it's useless, and it's overrated. Like the whole 2 week notice thing is very fucking overrated. Like I don't know why it's still, I don't know why it's still a thing, but it's absolutely overrated. It's absolutely outdated. It's probably like the most outdated thing ever in today's time. So yeah, let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, favorite, do all of that. Do you think it's necessary to give your company a 2 week notice? If it is, let me know. Yeah, because I want to get my different perspectives on I want to get like different perspectives from different people. So I like to be very open-minded about stuff. So yeah, so let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, favorite, do all that. Do all that. All that. Before I come hunt you down. Okay? Do all that. All that. All right? I love y'all. I'm just messing with y'all. No. But I love y'all though. Peace.